Hi, I'm Mark. This is my June review for Aries Sun sign and Aries rising. We have a very eventful month this month. Not only do we have an eclipse in Gemini, but we also have our two major aspects of the year becoming exact during the month. More about that in a minute. First of all, we need to concentrate on the Sun, because on the first of the month the Sun is in conjunction with the North Node, and this always happens when we have an eclipse. So this adds a feel of destiny. This is a time when you can make changes that will affect your life. Now, the eclipse is going to happen in your third house. This is where the Sun and the North Node is. So this means that you can have the opportunities now to make some fantastic changes. Being in the third house, it could be to do with the way you think and the way you behave and the way you interact with people. These could all be changed now. These habits could be changed, and you could form new habits that are going to serve you better. The other thing we have is the Sun making a positive aspect to Chiron. So there's opportunity to heal past things, and maybe time to let go of things from the past so that you can move forward freely. This is a good time also for building your confidence and your self-esteem and communicating and learning things from others. On the second, we have this major aspect I was talking about between Saturn and Uranus coming into tight orb, and it will become exact on the 14th of June. Now, it's already been exact in February, so we have talked about that before. On the 17th of February it was exact, and the last coming together of these two is on the 24th of December. So we're under the influence all year, and will be for some time after that as they start to part. And what does it mean? Well, there's a lot of social unrest. There's a lot of structures that are being challenged, because Saturn represents structure. Uranus represents a rebellious side. So these two together are going to create unavoidable change. There's also other effects of this. This could have major effects on the weather, and it could have major effects on the status of women, because Venus was born out of the struggle between these two in mythology. Aphrodite sprung from the sea. So this aspect also has an effect on the status of women, and we saw this back in the 70s when Mrs. Thatcher became chairman of the Conservative Party leader and then became Prime Minister. That was under a previous aspect. Now this time we've had our first female Vice President in the US, and also recently we had our first female winner of the Grand National. So again, this is raising awareness around the status of women. Now, the negative aspect also is power struggles, and we see struggles in Russia with their opposition leader being on a hunger strike, and Russia flexing their strength against the Ukraine border. On a previous coming together of these two, the Berlin Wall came down. This was in 1988-89 time. So these aspects do cause us a lot of tension and but there's a lot to be learned from these as well. And things will change, things will tumble down, and they will change for the good. Right, for you Aries, this large aspect happens across your 2nd and 11th house. Uranus being in your 2nd house, this is the house of values. So your values will be challenged now. And they will be looking at your aims and goals for the future with Saturn in that 11th. Also your friends and your groups that you belong to, you'll be challenging those now, and your thinking may be different from those. But Mars will help to shed a light, because Mars makes an aspect to the Black Moon, is also in your 2nd house. And this is a positive aspect. This will help you to see the motivations behind your thinking. This will help you to talk and communicate with others so that you can make great progress. On the 3rd, Venus moves into your 4th house and into Cancer, so the concentration starts to go to the home, because the Sun will move into that area later on in the month. Now, you'll be very sociable, because Venus makes a positive aspect to Jupiter on that day, and this is a great aspect. You'll be wanting to invite people around the home, maybe make the home a little bit more of a retreat for you. And Saturn's forming a positive aspect with the Sun, so you'll be very organised and be able to get things done. The only thing to be careful of is Mercury makes a square to Neptune. This is going to last for 5 days because Mercury is retrograde, and this will be a time when your mind won't be fully focused. Neptune puts a fog around Mercury, so your communication and your thinking isn't as clear as it should be. So avoid any business transactions and just be careful that people aren't scamming you or conning you over these few days. On the 4th, Mars makes a powerful opposition to Pluto. This is across your 4th and 10th houses, so work and home can be highlighted here. Now, with this aspect, it's a good time to enlist the help of others, because with others the culmination of effort can result in great success. If you're going to go it alone, it may be that the power struggle is unsurmountable and you have to give it up as a bad job. Also, make sure your security around the home is good, because Mars is in that 4th house area. On the 7th, the Black Moon there forms a trine aspect to Pluto. This lasts for 16 days. This is a good time to work with the energy here. We have the Black Moon in the 2nd house, so it's about our relationship to money and how we earn our money. And if there are any problems there that need to be solved or changes to be made, this can be done now and create more harmony in life. Then on the 8th, there's the second most important aspect of the year. This is a sextile between Chiron and Saturn. Now, this happens to be exact on the 24th of June, but its effect will last in close orbit until July, and then again it comes back at the end of the year in November. So Chiron can help us here. Chiron can help shed light on things and become a bridge between Saturn and Uranus and this square and all the tension. Chiron's orbit is between these two and is able to shed light and understanding on the issues that these two bring up, so that we can heal and move on and know what it is that we have to change. On the 10th, we have a solar eclipse. Now, this solar eclipse belongs to the same one as the May lunar eclipse, and it's the Saros 5 North, so it's all about hunches, dreams, visions coming through, and these need to be acted upon. Also, there's a concentration of 3rd house activity because it's happening in 19 degrees of Gemini, and this is your 3rd house. So if you have any planets around 15 to 25 degrees in Gemini or any of the other mutable signs, Pisces, Sagittarius or Virgo, then this will affect you quite deeply. Now, the effects it can have, well, it's all to do with communication in the 3rd house for you. It's all to do with learning. You need to learn as much as possible, and your thinking as well. You could now possibly change direction because your thinking will change with this eclipse, and it may be that you need to follow your curiosity and see where it takes you. 2 other aspects on the 10th. The first is an interesting one. It's a conjunction between Ceres and Uranus. It's another opportunity for you to examine your relationship with money, because these two are in the 2nd house. Now, is it that money provides you nurture, or is it that money gives you the freedom that you need to explore? This is something you could look at and see if there's any stagnation there in your attitudes that you can change. The other aspect on 10th is a conjunction between the Sun and Mercury. Now, Mercury is retrograde, so this could make communications difficult. This happens in your 3rd house. So there could be difficulties in expressing yourself and getting your point across. So it may be that you, if you've got anything important to say, to leave it for a day or two until this aspect has passed. On the 12th, your ruler, Mars, moves into Leo, your fellow fire sign. So this will give you a big boost of energy, boost of creativity, because Mars is now going to be in your 5th house. Venus makes a couple of aspects on that day as well, so you'll be wanting to socialise and be with others. Try some different things, something a bit more exciting than the normal. And also, it's a good time to learn to meet halfway with people so that you can combine and do things together. On Sunday, the 13th, is a day to chill out and take things easy. The Sun makes a square aspect to Neptune. This is a day when you may feel low, you may want to withdraw and just chill out. So that's a good idea. If there are any issues come up, then you need to deal with them. Stay in the real world, but other than that, take it easy. Then on the 20th, there's more activity in the 12th house because Jupiter in Pisces in your 12th goes retrograde. Now, as we said last month, you can still work with the energy when it's retrograde. It turns inward, but it's a good time to work with that planet's energy. And with Jupiter in this position, it's a good time to develop soul qualities and to try and integrate the outer world, outer self with the inner self and bring those two together. On the 21st, it's a great day filled with fantasy and imagination because Venus makes a positive aspect to Neptune. Venus in your 4th house, so any ideas and creativity that's coming through can be directed into the home area. The Sun moves into the home area as well on that day, so the focus will change towards home. Then on the 22nd, Mercury moves direct and things will start to flow again. Any difficulties, any snags will now disappear and things can move forward. On the 23rd, Venus makes an opposition to Pluto. Now this forms intense emotions, and this can be great for the transformation and improvement of relationships, but it can also cause tension and a lot of power issues within relationships. Now, Venus in your 4th house of home, so it's also a time to balance your home and work and to get things running nice and smoothly in your life. But just be careful because these energies are very intense, very powerful, and it could lead you to do things that maybe you would regret later on. Then on the 24th we have a full moon. The full moon is in Capricorn and it's in your 10th house. Now this means that it's a good time to sprint to the finish line now. Put all your efforts into going forward, and there could be some changes on the way as well. There could be some things that you need to leave behind now for the sake of your success and your betterment in the future. It's a good time for career or for your chosen path, and it could be as well that you're thrust into the limelight with the 10th house full moon. Also on the 24th, same day as the full moon, Venus makes a positive aspect to the black moon Lilith. Now this is a good time to align yourself with what's best for you, so this fits in very well with the full moon. You can also gain valuable insights that will stand you in good stead in the future. Then on the 25th, Neptune goes retrograde until the 1st of December, and the lesson we can learn here with Neptune in your 12th house, again same as Jupiter, is to align yourself with the spiritual side, to learn and grow spiritually and integrate that into your being so that the inner and outer worlds start to bring themselves into balance. Towards the end of the month, Mars makes two aspects. The first on the 27th is a positive one to the Moon's North Node. Now here you'll be filled with ambition and desire, and you want to get things done, you want to achieve things. And you've got the Mars in the creative house of Leo, the 5th house, so that you can use this creativity to solve any problems and align yourself with your future path. It's a more difficult aspect on the 30th, when Mars makes an opposition to Saturn and forms a T-square with the Saturn-Uranus conjunction. Now this will cause a lot of tension. There'll be a big build-up of tension, so try not to take that on board for your health's sake. Try and diffuse matters. It's a good time to get things done and complete tasks, but it's also going to cause a lot of irritability, and it's going to need a lot of patience and understanding. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a message, I'd love to hear from you.